the latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Outdoors with me, Mike. Telling you guys a bit of a review video on kind of an updated product from CampTech. So with me here today, I have got the CampTech Cayman Full Awning. So CampTech Cayman's been in kind of their range for a number of years now, and we've got some new tweaks to it ready for the sort of new season. So a little bit of sort of story behind CampTech themselves as a brand. They are a kind of a manufacturer and a brand. So what they do is they almost cut a middleman out of the equation. So what you find is, from a price point of view, you struggle to find a awning that is made to this level of quality for anything cheaper in terms of the price. So it's very good value for what they do. By cutting out middleman out of the cost, it means essentially, from a price point of view, what you pay, you get a very good quality of awning behind it. And because they are the manufacturer, they've got a lot of pride in their work as well. So we've done these awnings for a number of years now, and we're quite happy with the quality of what it does. New for the sort of new season is you've got a different choice of frames. So traditionally, you've been used to the 25mm external steel frame with kind of the grip lock clamps. Now we've got a new fiberglass frame you can actually purchase or choose to option. And there's a bit of difference in the price, but it's more down to the physical weight. The weight goes down by easily about a third, if not probably in the range of a half, depending on the size of the awning. The fabric we've got really here is basically an SL17 fabric, so it's a sort of a touring awning, nice amount of handle to it, designed to be kind of durable, but not necessarily left up for all season long. Immediately they've got like a polyester all-season coating on the roof, but the size is more the 17 that you go for. But for me, this is still very much a touring awning. Simplistic in its design, it's all about hitting a really competitive price point and give you a lot of awning for the money as well. Size ranges all the way up from sort of size 4 up to a 19, so there's a wide span of it will fit your van. And there's still key features like this traditional kind of look, as you can see here. Now, it's worth mentioning, if you like the awning and want something a little bit more substantial, you can look to the one that sits above this, i.e. the Savannah or even the Atlantis. Both in traditional looks, same depth of 240 out, so it's a classic kind of sort of 7 foot depth, 8 foot depth, sorry, out from the actual caravan itself, and feeds into the beading all the way around. Generally what we see is you've got a little brow canopy over the front to give you a little bit of coverage and stop the rain coming directly down. So you've just got a little spike that comes out. So there's no central bar here as such, because again, it's very much price orientated. If you like the idea of that, then you jump up to something like the Savannah. Traditional kind of panels where you sort of got this kind of curvature and also a nice sort of spiral chain zip. A natural sort of door position on the front to open up so you can enter quite nice and neatly in. And again, a nice sort of PVC panel window here as well with internal curtains. Nice PVC draft skirt, mud skirt to kind of take the muck and mud, but also make it easy to clean. Extra storm ties located on there if you want to put extra lashing on there just to keep it a bit more belts and braces. And then all the pegging points have kind of a ladder system, so you can alter the height to give different amounts of tension depending on what your ground situation is. We have a ventilation point up here to allow a bit more airflow into the actual awning itself. And because the front panels and even the side panels can be completely removed, what you find is actually it helps to reduce the weight when you're pulling it through. Second to that, what you can also do is buy a different bag or store it separately, and that means you've got 2 bags for the frame, for the canvas, 1 for the frame itself, which means you can distribute it around the caravan. And again, it's pre-ready made to slide it through the awning with ease. From the side panel point of view, as I mentioned, they do zip out completely. You have got a door built into it. It's almost like I would say a 70-30, so 70% window, 30% door. And because they're sort of handed to a certain extent, so what you can do is interchange the panels round. What this necessarily does is move the door from either the back, or the front in this case, to the back, meaning that you can alter and chop and change your setup how you want to. So just by switching the panels round nice and neatly. Still got storm straps even on the side. And again, all that everything I mentioned so far. Additional webbing storm straps can be purchased additionally, and personally I would recommend that for sure. So you've just got one located on either side, but you can also buy a plus one to kind of go around the framework and come directly down, just to give yourself a bit more stability all round. adjustable straps, sort of clamps, for example, are nice and easily on there. And it depends if you went for the fiberglass frame or the steel, nice and easy to move. The steel ones have a double buckle, so you've got like an initial one and then another one to reserve it, whereas the fiberglass essentially is just almost like one single clamp that goes naturally round it. What we'll do, let's have a little look inside. In fact, let's have a little walk round as we go, shall we, to get a bit more of an idea around it and how it kind of looks. So yeah, again, really nice sort of open size. Beautiful roofline. You can see how sort of taut that generally looks in all. With the panels as well, you've got on one side here, you've actually got a mesh panel, as you can see located there. So what that's going to necessarily do is give you some airflow directly in. So you have got one panel which has that. So it's almost like a 50% sort of normal PVC. You've got additional PVC to get that weather type, but one built mesh into it. So with the Cayman, you've got one panel with that. When you go to something like Savannah, you tend to have two. But all now that sits really quite smart. I think I'm quite impressed. And if we look over here now, so that's the Savannah in comparison. So again, you've got the external covers because it's designed again to be kind of more all season-ish. But as we kind of look into the actual awning, again, really quite nicely positioned and plenty kind of going on from that point of view. But it's the depth that really gets it for me, that sort of 240 depth. Because it's that more traditional panel, I can stand up in here more than happily and not have to worry about it. It means furniture and stuff can be closer up as well. Traditional curtains come as standard with it on sort of a normal kind of style rail. And what you do find is you've got little retainers which you can just pop in and pop out if you wanted to. There's a little kind of webbing strap that goes along here to keep that sort of curtain tight to the panel itself as well, to stop any sort of gaps appearing as such. And we see the mud skirt coming from the inside as well. And what I will do probably is pick the camera up and have a little bit of a closer look at some of the clamps that we do see inside of here. In fact, let's do that now, it'd be the best thing to do. So you can probably appreciate now, we look down here, the kind of clamp scenario. So it's a bit more of a buckle clamp as such. So you can kind of adjust it, pull it into position and lock it in place. And all the brackets that you've got on this is the fiberglass frame, just for point of reference, you know, reinforced kind of plastic on the points there. Little touches, you've got reinforced points on the actual material and extra kind of flaps located on the framework to stop it necessarily rubbing on the material and creating obviously wear holes. And when you come to the clamp points against the caravan, you've got the, I think it's called X grip, which kind of allow to press against it without marking the van as such. Depending on the span of the caravan, it depends on how many roof poles you have. You can buy additional roof braces if you wanted to. Obviously, the wider the span, the more poles you necessarily get included as standard. But the thing is, obviously, the windows, you've got a clarity throughout that, which I think really looks nice. And with the traditional kind of window style, I think it looks, again, more kind of a homely feel. But again, I think the roof fabric generally looks really quite nice. You can buy additional roof linings to go inside of it if you wanted to help and create a bit more of a double glazing kind of effect. So it means that you haven't got to worry too much about essentially having that kind of condensation level. So it will take a little bit of headspace up, but have that little pocket of air, and again makes the internal side of it a bit more comfortable, because polyester isn't necessarily breathable, but it sort of does the job. And you know, you can have the panels open and treat this almost like a gazebo by removing all the panels as well, so you have a good amount of airflow throughout the outset. You can also buy veranda poles to go on the front if you wanted to, so you can lay it down over and also have the airflow directly in. Additional support poles, as previously mentioned, are extras, as well as additional lights you can use to clip onto the framework if you see fit. Also, it's worth mentioning that it's sculpted down the side here as well, so you've got an extra bit of flap to cover any excess gaps you've got coming down the side. A draft skirt comes as standard included with it, along with wheel arch cover, a figure of 8 to connect the two together, and then suctions for the wheel arch cover to complete seal around that wheel arch area. Alternatively, you also get pegs as well included as standard, which also is quite a nice one. Admittedly, you probably wouldn't be a bad thing investing in some more substantial pegs, but you do get some pegs as standard anyway. The bag comes like so. So you have something like this for the main canvas, and then you've got additional kind of traditional kind of pole bag for the poles, something like that. But overall, I I think it's a really nice awning. And again, from previous experience, you know, decent quality, what you pay for you get, I think is very good value, and does an awful lot for an awning, really. You know, if you want something, again, not going to break the bank, but still decent quality, I think it ticks a really big box and certainly opens up the range of awnings that CampTech offer, sort of from a starting point, you know, sort of good, better, best. This one would definitely be in kind of that good range where it does everything you want it to do, really. But for more information, by all means, check the link below this video, take you through to our website. We have more information about the pack sizes, weights, individual features, as well as the range of sizes that you can get and sort of prices to go with it, along with other extras in terms of storm straps, annexes, which you can obviously add onto either side of this model as well if you wanted to extend, be it for sleeping or just general storage. So yeah, lots of different options to go with the Cayman. So yeah, that's our little video review on the Cayman CampTech. By all means, let us know what you think of the product. We always love to hear from you guys in relation to if you've got one, what you think of it, any additions. It's always great to have feedback, as no one knows better sometimes than the end user. So thank you for watching, and we hopefully see you again soon.